I want to welcome all of you to the Class of '64 football team reunion, along with the coaches and the cheerleaders, and our homecoming queen from 1963. Dare I say that year? I'm sorry, but it really was. Anyway, we have a lot of people here. I recognize most of you, and some were on my team, I think. But anyway, it's nice to see all of you. I want to thank Ray Pittman and John Carver. Ray's been instrumental in putting together these reunion luncheons for the football team for this is the 5th year, so for 5 years in a row now. So he's going to be doing this every year for Jay's teams, which goes a couple more years. So Bill Wood's here from our class of '65, who was a sophomore on our '62 team, which won the state championship, which I always like to remind. Yeah, all cell phones must be off, is it? All pagers and heart monitors as well, please. But anyway, Bill Wood, where are you, Bill? I want to warn you, you're going to get an email from Ray Pittman probably this afternoon. Oh, you already talked? So I answered a call 2 years ago, and I've been doing this ever since, so be aware. But anyway, Ray Pittman's been doing this for a number of years, and it's really nice to be able to get us all together. And this may be one of the last times our team will be able to get together. Hopefully we'll be invited, Bill, to yours next year, so we'll probably be back here again. We have some new people that are players, that we hadn't had at any of our prior reunions. One is Scott Idison. Scott, I've been chasing for 2 years by email, and I had to try to get in contact with him through his sister. And she would email back to me saying, Scott doesn't have a physical address, doesn't have a telephone, but she would pass on my email somehow. For years, I thought he was in the witness protection program. And then out of the blue, he sends me an email about 2 months ago asking about this reunion, and it turns out he lives only 100 miles from me, so down in Florida. So thanks, Scott, for showing up finally. Also have Dave Duff. Where's Dave there? Dave was our point after touchdown, PAT for you men, of course, point after touchdown kicker. And if you guys look at the '62 season DVD that Jay produced for us and Ray, you'll see Dave attempting a drop kick, correct? And and that drop kick did clear Tom Morrow's rear end, but it fell short of the goalpost. So unfortunately, David didn't record one of your successful ones. I'm sure you had. Also, Keithus was supposed to be here, but I don't see him, so I guess I won't mention him any longer. Anyway, thank you all for being here. The ladies will be around taking your orders, and then after that we'll have probably a little bit more of a program. You do notice behind me and around we have some slides of various pictures of the '62 and '63 seasons. You'll also notice about halfway through that there's some pictures of people you don't even recognize. It's not because you're too old, it's just because they weren't on our team. And the reason for that is that I had to include something for our two-a-day sessions, which we all remember with fond memories. And Jay would like to think that the reason we didn't have pictures back then is because it was a closed session practice. But actually I think they tried to hide the evidence of what they did to us back then. So there are some pictures in there of people that you won't even recognize, but it's kind of a way to at least address that segment of our history together. So enjoy your lunch, enjoy talking to everybody. We would like to go around and have everyone sort of stand up and introduce themselves because half the people can't recognize you. So we'll start over here with my friend Upchuck, as I call him. Stand up and tell us who you are.
Chuck Hulse. Chuck Fee. Jerry Hartman.
Leroy Williams.
Pat Clark.
Pat Kohler, living in
The Netherlands. The Netherlands. The Netherlands. That's the first beer.
Scott Idison, my wife Louise, Naples, Florida now.
Bob Kleinschmidt, I live in Jackson, Michigan.
Bill Bailey, I live in Cypress, Texas.
Fred Matzinger, class of 60. I live in Saline, Michigan.
Ray Pittman, class of 62. Allen Park, just down exit 204 on 94.
Kelly Ray, class of 62, team of 61. I live in Ann Arbor and Sarasota.
Tom Morrow, class of 64, and I live in Ann Arbor as well.
Jan Murray, class of 64. I live in East Lansing, home of the Rose Bowl champions.
I'm Laura Evans, class of 64, living in Scottsdale, Arizona now, and thrilled to be here. Thank you for including me.
Bev Anderson, class of 64, and I live in Troy, Michigan now.
Mike Kohler, class of 62. I live in Dexter.
Dale Leslie, I live in Ann Arbor, but I'm the cousin of Kent Leslie, who wishes he were here. So I've got my camera, and that's the next best thing.
Mike Stabler, class of 61, played on 59 and 60 teams and live in Ann Arbor.
David Duff, Macomb, New York. I played on the 64 team.
Bill Wood, class of 65, here in Ann Arbor.
John Carver, class of 64 and a fraction. I'll play on a 64 team, or 63 team.
Chuck Wilkins, I live in Ann Arbor, class of 63.
Jay Steelstra, I used to coach here.
Chuck Ritter, I was at Pioneer for 40 years. Still live in Ann Arbor.
We've got Jay up front here. He looks just like his photo here, although it looks a little taller, yeah. I mean, remember this, guys? I'm sure that's what he looked like on the sidelines, remember?
No, he scowled more. That must have been before a game.
Anyway, I want to reintroduce Chuck Holst to all of you. Chuck is...
Don't say it.
I won't say it anyway. He has a little thing he wants to do, a presentation for Jay, a little quiz that he wants to give. Yeah. So he's going to have to use his microphone and your hands and your mouth at the same time. Uh-oh. Good luck. Good luck.
Okay, this is called Jay Trivia. For those of you that don't know, you're going to learn a lot of stuff about Jay today that you didn't know. I know over the last 45 years I've learned an awful lot about Jay. Starting with this picture. You want to see it? You can pass that around. Now, we have some things for you if you answer these correctly. Okay? Who was Joe Kowach?
He was the basketball coach at Ludington High School after I left.
After you, wow, when did you leave?
51.
That's what I thought. Okay, then who was Hal Madden?
He was the football coach there after I left, yeah.
Then who was Barney McNutt?
Coach McNutt was my high school football coach.
Okay. For your first prize, you got to get one more right. What was your record your senior year in high school in football?
I think we won 4 and lost 4 and tied 1. Is that right?
No, that's not right, Jay. No, it was 5 and 4. Okay. Well, should we give him one anyway? All right. All right, this is just something to remember us by. And it. It's upside down, just like me. Ann Arbor High School Pioneers with a football emblem. Okay, who was the smartest one in our class of the ones that are here?
Boy, you really had to lower the bar, didn't you?
Jerry Hartman was pretty smart, wasn't he? How many state championships did Jay win? One. Wrong. Tell him, Jay.
What, in football?
No, altogether. Okay, all right. Okay, we'll do a do-over for you, Hartman. In his lifetime. In his lifetime. Everything. Wrong, again.
Well, I think we won 3 in basketball at a team I played on. And then I don't know if you count. Back when I was a kid, in high school, I won a few in track.
How many's a few?
Let's see.
You want me to tell you?
No, yeah, go ahead.
I believe that you won the state long jump in 1950, and again in 1951, and one of those years, I can't remember, maybe I have it here, 1950 you won the 180-yard hurdles. Remember that? Okay, here's what does White Pine Village mean to you?
White Pine Village is a historical museum kind of place up by Ludington, my hometown.
And what else is there?
Well, there's a Hall of Fame for 2 counties, or
I think it's just Mason County, Jay. And what happened there in 2010?
I don't know, they inducted me one year. I don't know if it was 2010.
It was 2010. So Jay is now in at least 2 Hall of Fame. So that's... And John White always wondered why we had football helmets that were silver with a royal blue stripe.
I think it was because Hank Fondy hated purple.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you, when you left Pioneer, if you took one of these, but here's a replica that I wanted to present to you from all of us for all the memories that we all have here. And it's not a TK8 or 12 or whatever those things we wore were, but it's okay. All right, that's still Rydell. Thank you, Jay, for everything you've done for us and to us.
I just want to thank the players. I mean, I was just a coach, and we had some very good players, and a lot of you are here now. Congratulations on making it this far.
Thanks, Jay. For 50 years, I've heard John White cry and complain about, I didn't have a stripe on my helmet. And there really has to be a reason. And I think one of the reasons is this picture of John making a tackle and Harold Simon saying, "Oh, here, let me help you." I used I carried this picture on my clipboard for all the years I coached, and it was always a coaching moment when I could stop practice and say, here, you want to end up on your knees like this guy with your head down? So, you're welcome. Oh, that's for you. And John, finally, John gets a helmet with a stripe on it. And it's a Rydell. Thanks.
I did. That is very nice. I always wondered why. I was the only guy on the team that didn't have a stripe. Anyway, we do have, Art wanted me to mention that some of you may not have attended our 50-year 1962 state championship team, which Chuck Menifee, of course, was on, and all of us as well. Chuck, state, what do I want to say, state champ quarterback. All states, what I'm trying to say. Thank you. But anyway, for those of you that may not have attended and or didn't receive something in the mail, but Art brought along some of the copies of the DVD of the reunion that was held at the homecoming game. So if you don't have one, see Art at the end and he'll make sure that you get one. Sorry, one more. Sorry, we have one more thing I forgot. I must have dementia. But Ray Pittman wanted to say a few words, so here's Ray.
Real quick, thanks again for coming. As John pointed out, we started this with a 59 team, a reunion, 50th reunion luncheon, and we've got a member from Jay's 59 team here, co-captain Freddie Matzinger. You've met Mike Stabler. John White reminded me that Mike Stabler and I both had helmets without stripes on them. And that's because our heads were so big, they had to special order size 8s. A couple of things our group does, which, by the way, you know, the silent guy back there, John Carver, is a big instigator in these events. So let's give John a hand. He basically says, Pittman, why don't you get off your butt and organize these, you know? I want to just mention a couple of things. One real quick, over here in the corner, some of you may recognize this is the most valuable player trophy that's been awarded to the football team player, most valuable team player every year since 1947. Our group has adopted this trophy, and we recently invested about $500 to have it totally renovated by a company in Chicago. So every MVP winner since 1947 is on here.